if you're against something and it serves your purpose, it's also a way that you gain spiritual strength. So it's a way that you nurture yourself and empower yourself. Having spiritual strength is associated directly with a few different things. And one of them is being against something. It's how you get strength or receive strength, or even conjure strength from nowhere. By being against something, it's how you gain strength in what's called a disposition. If you're in a disposition, you won't be able to gain strength from the disposition. So what you do is you have to be against something in order to pull the strength in the disposition, and it's how you do it. The problem with it is that because it's literally got to be against something, it's how you gain strength and empower yourself and reinforce your strength. And it's ultimately self-defeating. It's a self-defeating method for how one empowers himself or gains some kind of strength. It purely just does work, and it purely is, in the long run, self-defeating. It's self-defeating because it's going to need to be against something and continue to be against something in order to continue to gain strength at any time. Otherwise, it will weaken not being against something. And so it will need to have conflict in order to continue its draw. Now, to know about this is most important, to be aware of it. And if you have been in the past one to gain strength in the disposition by being against something, well, if you want to know if you're in this category, well, then just realize that if you're against something and you kind of are against things, or at least you have one arch enemy, if you have an arch enemy that you're kind of against, it could be anything. It could be women if you're a man. It could be men if you're a woman. It could be just maybe a person. But if you're actually against something, what you're doing is drawing spiritual strength onto yourself. It is working. But what's going to happen is that you will need to, for the rest of your life, have an arch enemy and be against something. And if it's against something like what I'm doing, or if it includes deities, like you have to be against God to have goddess, or goddess to have God, then it becomes truly not worth it. And it's important to know that if you are one who's already doing it and you have an arch enemy or someone you're against that you're involved in a conflict with on some level, it'll be a problem for you, because you won't continue maybe to be allowed to attack whoever it is in the future. Certainly, if you are, then you will be. But I want to point out to you that it's important you know that you'll have to draw your strength without being against someone as the necessity or the prerequisite. And you'll have to practice doing it without being against things. And it will be hard because you've literally learned how to do it really good and easy as being someone's enemy. It'll be a problem. You'll be against God or goddess then, and you might only have one against the other. You can't be against something and draw your strength that way. Well, I'm just saying that if you are, you'll have trouble in life. In the end, the god or goddess will be against you. It'll be one of them that's against you, because you won't be able to be for both of them. When you're against something, it'll represent the divine feminine or divine masculine. So your arch enemy will be her or him and somebody. And it may be mixed. It may be that you're mad at a man who has her, or it may be that you're mad at a woman who has him. But you'll need to know that you need to learn how to draw your strength without being against something, and then you'll never be able to do it if you don't even know. So that knowing right now is more than half your battle, and why it's so important to be willing to do the work it takes to actually accomplish the change is because in the future I could predict a lot of difficulty for you if you're going to continue to have the right to be strong you'll continue to have the right to engage in conflict with others. And it may be that you're engaging in conflict with not others, but the one that's not others. Either way, it will be still not okay, because in the future, the divine is going to orchestrate some kind of a disapproval of those that are literally doing it in the manner which I've described. You'll become disapproved of, and also maybe rejected or even punished, possibly, not for sure, but ultimately I'm warning people about what will happen is that you'll need to have the conflict continue in some person with some person, so you don't become weakened, and so your feeling will be someone has to be against me, and ultimately you won't know that truly it's because of the disposition. So you need to reposition yourself as not against somebody, and then draw your strength consciously by when you feel like it's hard to do. You are aware that it is hard to do, but you certainly can do it. So you'll just have to fight yourself. And that'll be how you do it, is to literally know that, oh my gosh, the way I'm doing it is not going to work. Well, it does work. It just is not going to be wholly accepted. In the end, you'll be the wrong one for the way you draw your strength. And you do have a right to be strong. So just not using the method in which I've described. You'll be able to correct it fast and simply by being frustrated a little bit and realizing that you still need to draw your strength. You still can do it, but it'll be hard. It'll be kind of take a little practice where you'll say, God darn it, man, I got to find someone that I hate or someone I'm against in order to just draw that strength real easily. And so it's kind of hard at first when I'm not just going to take sides and be against something. You'll be able to do it. I recommend you try it right away and realize that you'll also be a lot happier as a human being when you don't have to draw the strength a wrong way. It's a wrong way because you'll have to have the conflict in order to draw the strength.